Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. Today is the final episode as we dive into the True Arena. This is the hardest mode in the game that I'm aware of because it involves the bosses of Extra Mode, the bosses from Magolor's Epilogue, and extra bosses we've never seen before. It is, in fact, the true ending. So we're gonna hop on in as Kirby. Hey there, everyone. So I'm just gonna reveal the secrets here. This is post-commentary for the sequence of events you are about to see, because it took me 5 attempts to get through this, and calculating in my head, I'd say it took about 3 hours. In total, it took me about 3 days because of timing of how to sit down and record each episode. And also skill. It took me a long time to figure out what I was doing for which abilities. And healing. There are many times where I definitely did not have enough healing items to restore my health between battles. So what I ended up doing between some of my attempts was going back to Merry Magoland and just grinding Crackety Hack, which is my least favorite of the mini games, but it's the one that finished the fastest and gave me the most stamps so that I could get some souvenir healing items to use mid-game. Highly recommend doing that, by the way, guys. If you need the protein drinks or Maximum Tomatoes, highly recommend that. Yeah, so let's talk about this. True Arena was a challenge. I never thought I would ever talk bad about Kirby games because they're relatively easy. Like story mode, we breezed through story mode. I don't think I died once. Actually, that's not true. I did die many times, but it was not because of health, it was because of pitfalls, I believe. Gosh, this is how often I'm paying attention to my own series. The point being is that I didn't struggle. I felt like I didn't struggle during the main gameplay of Kirby. But then when I decided I want to 100% this file, that's when we got into challenge. Extra mode cut my health in half and I kept dying. I had a lot of lives to deal with it, so that wasn't the issue. It was that I was still dying. And then stuff like this, like first attack, we lost our power-up. That happened so many times during extra mode. It was quite disappointing. Now, I think the remedy of that situation would have been I should have played Magolor's Epilogue first before extra mode, but I felt that extra mode was supposed to come before Magolor's Epilogue, because Magolor's Epilogue is the end. It's an epilogue. Let's talk about power-ups. I did the majority of this True Arena with the Mecha power-up. And it is because the Mecha has such great combat capabilities. It has a powerful standard B attack. It has the lobbing fireball attack to attack things that are right above us, like the Sphere Doomers. And there are other abilities that could do that. Whip, oh gosh, I'm trying to... Whip, electric, sword, fighter. There's a lot of other abilities that could have done the job, but I found that Mecha, with its ranged attack and everything, just really made the battle feel smoother and easier compared to... And again, we lost the ability in like a single swipe. It happens so often. It's the hardest thing for me to come to terms with Kirby. Being able to lose your power-up with one hit. So annoying. Also, space-time shifting. Ugh. We will get into that. So let's talk about why I chose Mecha, because it was the easiest to do all the battles with. By the 5th attempt, I was no longer in the mood of let's ease our way into it. I thought about maybe showcasing my failed attempts. When I put everything together, we were looking at over 3 hours of footage. And then I thought, well, maybe I could cut it down. Maybe I just like show the battles that I lost to. And that is a decent idea, except for the fact that it doesn't show in game what battle I was on. It shows in game what time I'm at. Like right now we're approaching 5 minutes of this ramp. So you would think, oh yeah, 5 minutes, we're on round, oh gosh, 21, we're on round 4 or 5. So it sounds like it would be a good idea, but then there are some times where I've lingered longer on a boss because I just couldn't get it knocked out. The attack combos he was using wasn't getting the knockout that I was looking for. So ultimately I decided, no, I'm just gonna do my successful attempt. This is attempt number 5. It really went well. We recorded this September 23rd, literally the day before Epic Mickey Rebrush is released, and the week when The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom came out. So, as you could tell, just in general, my whole thoughts, my brain was elsewhere during this week that we recorded the attempts of the True Arena. Also, because I was just focused on clearing the Kirby game, I really was like, I needed to finish Kirby so I can go work on Spyro and other titles, because I really want to try to get going on those. And again, I lose the power-up so quickly. The word that goes to my head is it's not funny that I lose my power-up so quickly. If Kirby was wombo comboed, the term I used during Magolor's Epilogue, then it would make more sense that Kirby would lose his power-up. But like, some attacks don't feel like they're wombo combos. They feel like he got hit by an apple, all of a sudden he loses his power-up. Now, that's not to say that that makes the most sense, because even in like a Mario game, Mario gets hit once, he walks into an enemy, he loses the power-up. So I guess there isn't really a big if and or but about it. Just, I don't know, it feels like I made my point on this. Speaking of orders of operation, by the way, I mentioned earlier that I talked about determining the True Arena's battle order. Let's go into that. So True Arena has 21 battles, I believe. Roughly. I'm gonna say roughly because I'm not looking at it online at the moment. while I'm doing this post-commentary script. But I know that it's a battle of every boss that we've seen in Extra Mode and Magolor's Epilogue. The first 10 rounds is randomly randomized between Kirby's Return to Dreamland Extra Mode bosses, as you can tell. This includes mini bosses with the power-up bosses like Bonkers and Giga Knight and King Dew. So there's battles like that. It's all randomized in a random order from first battle to near the last battle. With the last battle of this lump, there's a better word for it. The word lump is what comes to my mind, though. Oh, gosh. Class? Category? There's a word for it, and unfortunately I'm totally losing it. But this grouping of boss battles ends with a battle against Landia EX. So when you face off against Landia, then you know, hey, it's time to battle the next set. I am 99% positive that fact is fact. And the reason why I'm thinking about it is because I'm pretty sure in one of my previous attempts, I faced off against someone other than Landia at the end before we went into the next block of baddies. I'm 99% positive Landia separates Block 1 from Block 2. Block 2 enemies would be the enemies from Magolor's Epilogue. Again, randomly ordered from bosses 1 to 4, with the final boss of that grouping being the Crown Doomer, the final boss battle from Magolor's Epilogue. So, as my brain is trying to process that information, so what that means is you'd be dealing with Electricy Duder, Fiery Puff, Hydrate, and the Rampaging Doomers. Then you would deal with the Crown Doomer. And then we have the final boss battles. So once you deal with the Crowned Doomer, then we're back into other bosses. Starting off with HRD3, the big robot from the Metal General battle. Which still it's been a few days since the recording of that episode. It's been a few weeks since you guys saw that episode. It blew my mind what they did. And that's insane. It's so incredibly insane. Following HRD3 is a battle against the Lore Star Cutter. It is the only battle in True Arena where you cannot use souvenir items to heal. It is the skill-based battle, so make sure that you take your time and take your chance. We will return to talking about Lore Star Cutter in that phase of our video. Right now we just are approaching the final of phase 1 of the True Arena. We're coming up to the Landia battle, as I mentioned. So then after the Lore Star Cutter is Traitor Magolor's battle, where he's wearing the Master Crown and he's betrayed us. Sounds like an easy battle. It kind of is. Once you destroy him, then we go to Galactonite. Now, I don't know much about the lore of Galactonite, only that he seems to appear as a big boss in extra modes. And we didn't even see him in extra mode, we see him in the True Arena. it is a painful battle, terribly awful, but like, you'll see. Then following Galactonite is the Master Crown, I believe. And then that's the big tree that you guys saw last episode in Magolor's Epilogue. And then after that is the final battle against Magolor's Soul. So there's a lot, and even then, bosses in this final phase, starting with Galactonite, exhibit new attacks that we haven't seen. So now that we're done with the first, I still can't remember the term. There's a specific term to use when talking about this grouping, and then the second grouping, and then a third grouping. It's on the tip of my tongue. Presque Vu is the worst. Let's talk about that real quick, because not a lot of people know that there are 3 different types of Vus. I love sharing this fact. So everybody knows about deja vu. The feeling that you've done something before when it's actually the first time you've done it. So there's deja vu. Then there's Jamas vu, and I may be butchering the word. But Jamas vu is the sensation of doing something for the first time, even though you've done it hundreds of times. One of the best sensations of this is how people say on Twitter and X that they wish that they could go back to playing Breath of the Wild for the first time. The ability to be able to experience Breath of the Wild for the first time, even though you've played it 100 times, that would be a sample of Jamas vu. Then finally we have Presque vu. And again, I'm so sorry if I butcher the word. I'm not French, but it's like my favorite word. And that is also referred to as tip of the tongue syndrome, where the word just lingers on the tip of your tongue, and your brain is actively fighting against you to describe the word that you want. So it would be like if you wanted to say soda, your brain would be actively trying to tell you pop can, drink, elixir, fuzzy drink, fizzy. A lot of words that associate to soda, but isn't the word that you're thinking of, because the word you're thinking of is soda. It's really cool. It's a fun little tidbit. The bosses of Magolor's Epilogue are so interesting because we dealt with them with Magolor, who has these interesting abilities and interesting power-ups. But to be able to challenge them with Kirby's abilities really does show just what kind of powers you have to deal with them. Fiery Puffer has this attack where you see him in the background, and that's going to be the position he's in, back in the foreground. He has Fire Breath. It's always his second attack when dealing with the attacks. He does this hop, and that's it. I got really good at getting through these bosses all the way up to HRD3 because I did it 4 times with the 2 best abilities. I would have to say for True Arena would be Thunder, because you can create a shield that defends yourself against enemies and projectiles. Really useful. And then you have Mecha, which can be used to attack things from above without needing to hop and jump. And you can attack enemies from a distance using the the beam shots and all that. Electricy Duder has to be one of my favorite redesigns of a boss. Just because of how goofy he is. Like, instead of a genie that wants to perform tricks with Mr. Duder, we have this electric mage. It's so fun. And obviously, like, I'm almost dead. I definitely should have healed. Fortunately, we're able to do all the healing and ability swapping back in the main hub room. Yeah, I do take the last. So now we have no more Maxim tomatoes in the main hall, which does cause problems because now what the game wants you to do is do the rest of the battles with what I have for health. And I know that I'd never be able to manage. So it's a great challenge, but it's almost impossible. I say almost because obviously there are ways people have done arena and true arena damageless. I'm just not one of them. Hydrate is already halfway down, and this is where his battle gets hard because I really thought that I'd be able to get him through much faster. With the attacks similar to how I dealt with Gorath. I think it's Gorath. It has to be Gorath. It can't be Goliath. But like, as you can tell, we're really struggling trying to knock him down the last bit of health. And he starts doing all these attacks where he's bouncing everywhere. We try to get out of his way. And he just keeps knocking us down onto lower platforms and lower arena rooms. And I feel like if we're in the wall, his jumping back and forth should not be doing damage like that. Like, we're in the wall. I did start using some of my stronger attacks. And yeah, like, look how close he is to death, and we still didn't. It took us so much health to knock him out. We're below half health, and we entered this battle with half. So from this point on, going into the Crown Doomer, HRD3, the Lore Star Cutter, and all those battles at the end of the game's asking me to do that with that amount of health left. No. That feels like it's an impossible task. But again, someone probably has a run out there where they did it 0 damage because of dodging and skill, all of which I don't have. I definitely found Mecha to be the best ability to use. Though we will see me fumble a little bit later. Combo attacks, these aren't the same attacks as Grand Doomer, where the exploding orb causes lightning. That was a painful attack. He's in the shadows. You gotta avoid him so that you don't get caught by an attack. We got him half health, and now he's sending off the rains of destruction. I found a lot of the bosses were doing a a dodge or not giving me much of an opening to counterattack a bit too often in this. Like, how am I supposed to deal damage to you if you're just gonna warp a lot and I can't get an attack in? I mean, obviously, they shouldn't be doing attacks where they're left wide open like that too often, because then there's no challenge to the boss battle. But I felt like a lot of their attacks don't leave them open. We're in the last block of battles. HRD3. I think this is HRD3. Yeah. So the HR department has now reached us. Human resources. More like Kirby resources, am I right? So HRD3 has a very simple attack pattern. And very limited opportunity to counter. But this is a good example where it works. You can only attack him when his arms hit the stage. And he has 3 different kinds of attacks where he's no longer vulnerable to be hit. The laser beam eyes that damage the arena. This rocket launch attack that rains technically the bomb power-ups from the sky. We could suck them up and become Bomb Kirby. And then he has this spinny move, which he usually combos the spin move with the bomb attack. So I don't know what happened in this round where he individualized the attacks. It really worked to my benefit. We let him come crashing down. I tried to go under him, but I panicked. Once he starts phase 2, you do have to be careful of the ultimate cannon attack. He does that first. He does a belly flop. Sometimes he does this fist punch. And then he does this spin attack to get closer, which usually follows up with a belly flop, but I believe since I got him down so much health, that's why he swapped it to this non-counterable attack phase. Because then he goes back up and he does the stomping move again. So he stomps, and again I panicked, which is why I got damaged. That attack kind of makes more sense as to why we lose out on the power-up. And I really panicked. I thought that I was going to take damage here, but I found such a sweet spot right in front of HRD3. We were able to finish the boss battle. Metal General is down for the count for good. Now we're in this distorted world, and as you can see here, I'm just setting myself up with some heals, because this, in my last attempt, is where I died. So I tried to do the A swoop move a little too often, which ended up backfiring on me. So we're up close to the ship because he uses cutter. Then we back it up. And then I got a little too nervous. So I took damage because I got too nervous. I thought he was going to do the double wing attack. I forgot the double wing attack occurs after Lower Star Cutter is below half health. The wind tunnel, I was going to just sit at the bottom of the screen, but I decided against it, choosing to just be cognitive. The star attack is what usually gets a lot of my health gone. And this is the first time we're not entering phase 2 right away. He had way more damage saved up. So we had to do a bit more damage in order to start phase 2, where he passes us and then he attacks us from the background of the screen. So we had to be open to dodging. We have to do it twice. Then he comes back and we can counter again. And this is where I'm using the A move to do a bit more damage. This tackle move does way more physical damage to the boat than my B move. Try to get a few more strikes in during this tornado twister phase. I believe if I did get too close to the wind tunnel, it would have knocked me. And now, since we're almost done, I backed off and finished it off with some standard attacks. And then we returned to safety so we could heal separately, which is great. My goodness. Look how close we are to death. If I didn't have a separate heal at the end of HRD3, I definitely would have lost to Lure Star Cutter again. So this is the battle where I'm like, you know what? I really was like, how do I counter these orbs? My mecha suit isn't really defending me against his attack. So this is where I'm like, you know what? I need to swap my ability. I should have done it before battle, but I didn't. So I backed away so that I can get the cycle of ability to slow down so I could time it properly to get the electric power up, which comes after sword, I believe. After hammer. And I did mess up, but we have 30 power-ups. So what I ended up doing with Mike is I worked with just giving him the damage from the microphone. I probably could have done a few rounds of this with the failed power-up. We want to make sure that we in fact grab the power-up again. He's on a phase setup. This was the black hole. I totally forgot that he summoned the black hole. So I had to actually dodge that and realize, oh no, I missed the timing. So this is me trying to avoid the attack while I planned how to get the lightning. And then I see, oh no, the power-up cycled through again. Magolor really did want me to lose. Fortunately, we are cycling back here in a second. And there, I decided to take the chance. So now we have a way to counter his orb attacks and still be able to attack him with my up lightning. And this is how we defeated him in extra mode with plasma, with spark. We got right below him, we did the up attack. It counters the orbs, so he can't use them as an attack. It's really useful. And if I really needed to, I could do a normal spark attack to also give myself a bit of a shield. So we defeated Traitor Magolor, and this is where we got Galactonite. And my first instinct was heal, and then my second instinct, I shouldn't have used a maximum tomato, I just realized that. The second instinct should have been to swap back to Mecha, but I really thought that I could handle the battle as Spark. Do not go into this battle with Spark. I do not have enough forward attack patterns to counter Galactonite. And as much as the damage I do with the spark attack is, the time it takes to charge the static build up to do that attack definitely is not worth it. Eventually I do swap around my abilities again. And this is the other thing too. I realized that Galactonite has this whirlwind ability that just is the worst. So as you can see, I'm like, okay, how am I supposed to counter and attack? He's quite a fast opponent. He gets all up in my face. This is where I'm like, okay, I need to heal. I need a new plan. It also does not help. This is the very first time I've battled against Galactonite. Because I don't recall dealing with Galactonite in any other battle. In any other Kirby game that we've played. He's definitely not in Kirby 64. In my playthroughs of Planet Robobot and Triple Deluxe, personal playthroughs I should add, I've never encountered Galactonite as a boss. So I had no idea what kind of abilities he had, what kind of skills he could replicate. It got really bad. I'm still actually, as you can see, trying to fight him with Spark. I'm pretty sure this was the moment where I'm like, I've used too many heals with Spark. I've got to change things up. So we pull out the ability, and we know that we're looking for Ice to get Mecha, because that's the ability that I chose would be smart. Unfortunately, because I went to try to counter Galactonite with those star attacks, that didn't work out, so now we're setting up the orb again. So I'm trying to keep an eye on the orb for my power-up. Spark, he did this whirlwind attack, blocked me from getting the upgrade that I wanted. I realized, oh look, I actually am so close to finishing this off. I probably could have just waited. In fact, that's what I ended up doing. I'm pretty sure I go for a heal, and then I just lightning bolt him. And he flies away. So now we have the Master Crown, the Magolor final boss battle. And this is where I'm like, okay, let's get our power up proper. Get it all set up properly. We know we're after Mecha, and let's go. I believe we also... Oh, we do the heal. Okay. So, yeah. We are actually almost done with the mode. This is our second last boss battle in True Arena, and dealing with him as Kirby I felt it was much easier, and I think it's because I didn't have to worry too much about the attack patterns. I kind of already knew what I was dealing with. I used Mecha's bullets to do the attacks, and I had a better flight ability with Mecha, better up B attacks. I went the wrong way for sure when I was dealing with that cherry bomb. And yeah. Third attempt. Not the fifth. It took me 5 attempts to get this far. And I was thinking, if I lost here for any reason, I don't think I'd be doing true arena. I had a lot of time, obviously, because this episode comes out in November and we're recording this in September. I had over a month of trial and error attempts I could have recorded to get a much better result. But overall, I am happy that we managed. We knocked Master Crown into Phase 2. I really think this boss arena is in Forgotten Lands. I really would have to look up more information. He's firing his laser beams. I decided to try to do some off attacks with the cannon. He spawned some minions. And here comes more dangerous attacks. And he is almost defeated. In fact, he does this attack, but I'm gonna attack everything around you. And we managed to defeat him. And we wave, bye-bye tree. And now we're in the final battle. Now, what can I say about the final battle? It definitely plays differently than the original Magolor's Soul battle. In two senses. The first one being that we don't need Ultra Sword to do any damage. And secondly, it's just a lot harder. He has new attacks, some that hint at even more varied Ultra abilities. We notice that he's going for the big laser beam attack. This gets us a lot of damage in the first round. Then he's doing this sort of sky attack, blasting between portals. Stay above, Kirby. There you go. Okay. And then we tried to get as much damage as we can between strikes. He's doing this plant attack. Spark would have been another good ability here because of timing. And I believe... Oh, I also did not plan for this. I forgot that he had wormhole capabilities. This is why I bring out Spark again. Because he did get me in a pretty solid counterattack with the black holes. And I needed a way to do a strong attack. So we bring out the abilities, get Spark, and I did try to avoid this attack, and I sucked. So then he jumps around. He's doing the plant counter move again. And then I realized he was doing the attack where he's standing right in front of me and right on me. And we did it. We defeated him. Obviously not. Otherwise, I would have jumped us back. He's entered a new phase. This is the Ultra Attack phase, and he does new attacks. Ultra Sand, which I tried to avoid, and I did, and then I didn't. And then he does another Ultra Attack, Ultra Mecha. And like, just think of the possibilities of what Ultra Mecha could have done in the game. I realized that I needed to get out of the middle in order to survive that laser beam attack. And I also realized I still haven't even done a single bit of damage to him. Then he did Ultra Beam. And I realized I need to get back to my mecha ability. So I tried to dodge. I tried to avoid. I ended up getting the wrong power-up because of Parasol. We drop it, and then we ended up missing again. So what I ended up doing is trying a third time, but putting the ability way in the corner. And I didn't realize he was trying to do the Fire Dragon. And here comes Mecha in my ability wheel. And he inverted the world. It was really like, oh gosh, now I have to figure out what I'm doing. Let's dodge the ice. Let's carefully float about. And then he did Ultra Sword. And because we're upside down, I didn't have a cognitive idea of what the direction was that he stood in. And so he did get me twice. And then I did get the opportunity to counter. Now that I'm in Mecha, I'm able to do a lot more attack damage. I tried to use dodging and shielding more to defend myself. He did this vine attack again. He really did not like that I defeated Phase 1. Which I guess was Phase 1 and 2. He did this super laser beam attack, which really gave me a great opening to counter. The big vines he brought out gave me the opportunity to counter again. He inverted the space. I realized I needed to heal again. And once we defeat him, I'm actually going to go back to live commentary and talk to you guys. Live again. Jump out of post commentary because we are almost done. In fact, I believe it is in a few more hits here that we finish him off. He's doing the laser beam attack. This one I did successfully avoid the wormhole, except for the last one. I kind of feel like that one is almost impossible to dodge, but that's just my opinion. And we did it! So let's go back to live commentary. And welcome back, guys, from my little post-commentary audio. Oh, gosh. This is my 6th attempt. And the way I did it was, as I've mentioned, grind Merry Magoland to get healing items. There's definitely not enough in the game to get you through. You need additional healing items. And we did it. Oh, thank God. So, Player 1 can now select characters other than Kirby in True Arena. Try entering the battle as Bandana D or King Dedede. Nope. Main mode complete. This is why we know we've completed the file. As a reward for completing main mode, you've earned the following dress-up mask. Gold Kirby. Oh, what's this? This is something unexpected. So unexpected. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's Kirby with the magician's hat. Oh goodness, guys. Oh, this is giving me chills. I was not expecting a little cutscene at the end. And we've done it. Finally. Kirby's wearing You're a true Kirby master. A special movie is now available in the theater. I guess we'll have to check that out now. But basically what we'll see back in Mode Select is a file that's 100%. It's rainbow. He's wearing a beautiful, cute crown. Everything is complete. So let's see. Credit, visitor from afar. Ores restored, right wing, left wing, emblem. Lore Star Cutter reborn. Halcandra, a new enemy. Let me explain everything. Final Battle EX. Each to his own world. Ending, secret ending. I don't recall secret ending. What is secret ending? We will run that in a minute then. Hitting rock bottom. The dimension surpassing traveler. This reveals Magolor's ending. Kirby Master. Oh, this must be the secret film, which is what we just saw. Okay. Okay, so secret ending must be completing extra mode. Okay. Well, guys, that is going to be it for Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. I've shown literally everything that I could. I guess the other thing I could show is the masks, finally, because we've never actually... I guess we've shown some of the masks. So let's go to Dress Up Mask. Everyone is selected. So we have Pink Kirby Mask, Blue Kirby Mask, Green Kirby Mask, Yellow Kirby Mask, King Dedede's Mask, Meta Knight Mask, Bandana Waddle Dee, Magolor, Waddle Dee, Waddle Doo, Kracko. This is one of the few Kirby games where Kracko is not an enemy in it. Mr. Frosty, Bonkers, Nightmare Wizard. We have Rick and Pick. I have no idea who the Kirby Dreamland 3 characters are, except for cameo stuff in Star Allies and Kirby 64. Kine and Mine, Ku, Grey Ku, Dark Matter Clone, Chef Kawasaki, Marks, Marx's Soul, Galactic Nova, Nago, Pitch, Choo Choo, Gooey, Gooey Mock Matter, Zero, Adeline, Focused Adeline, Ribbon. Ribbon is one of my favorites. Ribbon with the Friends hairstyle. I'm not sure what that means. I don't recall Ribbon's hairstyle being different in Star Allies. Shadow Kirby. Oh, because of the mirror. I didn't realize Shadow Kirby had a completely different look like that. Dark Meta Knight. Dark Meta Knight in the Dark Mirror. Drossia. Deroach. Dark Deroach. Dark Nebula. Masked DDD. Galactonite. This is what we just fought at the end of True Arena. Galactonite is a reoccurring boss only in those extra modes. And Morpho Knight as well, but Morpho Knight we've seen actually show up in a mainline Kirby story in the Forgotten Land. Then we have Wispy Woods EX, Mr. Duder EX, Fatty Puffer EX, I think it's Goliath, but it might actually be Garaith EX, Grand Doomer EX, Metal General EX, Landia in EX, also known as Spyro. We have Traitor Magolor EX. Then we have the friends, Terenza, Old Friend, who I think is actually Queen Sectonia. I can't remember how Old Friend plays into the story of Kirby Triple Deluxe. We have Robobot Armor, Susie in her weekend outfit, President Holtman, Francisca, Retaliator Francisca, Flame Burge, Retaliator Flame Burge, Zan Partizan, Retaliator Zan Partizan, Highness, and now we're on the last row, Morpho Knight, super amazing. Cone Mouth Kirby, this one's just troublesome. A Woofy, this one's my favorite Kirby enemy now because it's so cute. Claroline, Forgo DDD, Leongar, Elfilin Smiling, Interdimensional Magolor with the gray, Park Staff Waddle Dee, Manager Magolor, and finally Gold Kirby. That's every single mask. So thank you guys so much for joining me on this extremely long adventure of Kirby's Return to Dreamland. As you guys have probably seen, we have other projects coming out now. We have, as of the date of this episode's launch, I just have to find my there we go. As of this episode's launch, we have from new games that I've collected, Epic Mickey Rebrushed, The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. We have Mario Party Jamboree, which came out on October 17th. And we have Mario and Luigi Brothership. So we have a lot of games. And you guys have probably seen that we're playing Spyro 2. We're playing that off of my Switch rather than the Xbox One. Primarily because I don't have the Xbox One available to me right now. But I still really wanted to get us back into Spyro, because I still have like 2 games there for us to play through. Spyro 2 and 3. Gosh. How time flies. Anyways, guys, we will see you all in the next series, which probably won't come out after Kirby for a little bit because we have other projects that are being produced right now. So the next game that comes out after Kirby probably won't be available just yet. You guys will have to wait. Anyways, guys, we will see you all next time. Dyrezz Plays is out.